What's up, y'all? Welcome back to an ESPN NFL 2K5 franchise rebuild with the Miami Dolphins, and it's playoff time, baby. We went 12-4 in the regular season. We're sitting pretty with our second highest power rankings, number 2 in the nation in the NFL, and we're feeling good going into the playoffs. So we are also the number 1 seed in the AFC. As you can see here, we've got that home field advantage. The Kansas City Chiefs right after us with that first round bye. The Colts, the Baltimore Ravens, the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the New York Jets are in the playoffs. And on the other side of the ball, the Philadelphia Eagles, I believe they're the number 1 power-rated team. The Minnesota Vikings, Seattle, Tampa Bay, St. Louis, and Atlanta all squeezing in there. And in case you forgot, Ricky Williams is the MVP, y'all. 284 carries, 1,580 yards, 23 total touchdowns with the longest carry of 82 and 3 touchdowns receiving. He did a pretty good job this season, enough to win the most valuable player. So we have the wild card round first. That winner of New York and Indianapolis is going to be playing us in the next round, and the winner is by just a score of 1 point. The New York Football Jets take out Peyton Manning and the Indianapolis Colts by a score of 24-23. And we're going to jump pretty much right into this thing. We've got Zach Thomas still technically on the injury report, but as per usual this season, he's probable and he is definitely going to be playing in this game. Moving on to the key players for the Jets, we've got Chad Pennington, who must have had himself a game. He had himself a pretty good season here in the second year of the dynasty. 32 yards and not too bad on that touchdown and interception ratio as well. Lamont Jordan is their running back, 717 yards on the year, just 3 touchdowns to his name. And then of course Santana Moss, Mighty Moss, Mini Moss, 94 overall, over 1,000 yards receiving, 9 touchdowns to his name, and they're pretty well protected as well, but their best blocker easily is Kevin Mawe, 92 overall in his 12th year. Both his run and his pass blocking are in the 90s, which is exactly what you want from an elite lineman. Now, on the other side of the ball, nobody is over a 90 overall, but John Abraham is an 87 overall and had more than 10 sacks on the season, or I guess 10 to be exact, so he's going to be someone that we have to worry about. And then their next best defender is Eric Barton, the outside linebacker, had almost a career year, 92 tackles, 3.5 sacks, no forced fumbles, no interceptions, and they're all also dealing with some injuries. Sam Coward's been on the injured reserve. Derek Strait also out with a neck strain. Both of those defensive pieces are going to be missing. So as you can see here, a weakened defense for the New York Football Jets against the Miami Dolphins, who are looking like the better team going into this one, but we will have to see. So let's throw it to right into the game. We're not going to throw it at anybody because this is the last game that I forgot to record correctly. So I will be your play-by-play as we welcome you back into Pro Player Stadium for this divisional matchup between the New York Jets and the Miami Dolphins. Now, if you remember earlier in the season, the Jets did get the best of us in the first matchup, and we were able to win the second matchup, so we're going to see how we do in this game. In the first play, right off the bat, Santana Moss gets a huge reception for the catch and more, moving the chains way down the field. A little bit later in the drive, Pennington gets the play action, throws it to Corbett, who's open over on the left side. A good 20-plus yard gain for Corbett, and in just a couple plays, the Jets have marched way down the field. That's actually Soul, the fullback, rumbling and bumbling to the left side, getting past that good block on the left side from Santana Moss, out of bounds for another Jets first down, and then we get a wide open. I've barely been able to start doing this game, and the Jets have already scored, going on the board very, very early. We can see this one again. Pennington dropping back, has good protection, lobs it over to literally nobody but Santana Moss. So just like that, the Jets have gotten on the board. The kick is up for the extra point from Doug Peterson, who signed in the offseason from the San Francisco 49ers. That was a 5-play, 73-yard drive in just 1 minute and 19 seconds. So Palmer, trying to get something back from this first drive, finds his rookie Watson open on the left side, gets tackled past the markers, but that's going to be a first down, move the chains. Play action for the MVP, Ricky Williams. Looking to the right, Carson Palmer finds Darius Thompson wide open over the middle. A little razzle-dazzle from Carson Palmer leads to another Miami Dolphins first down. From the shotgun, Palmer rolling a little bit to his left, throws it deep over to his right, and finds Shannon Yates, the tall rookie, grabbing that one. Give him a little shimmy, Yates. That's going to be a first down and then some. A couple plays later, we've got a 3rd and short situation, and Ricky gets the first down and then some, putting down his shoulder, showing that skill that got him that MVP nod. And then Carson once again bailing out to his right. I believe we took a sack right after this, which is why it was second and so long. Carson makes up a bunch of those yards, getting to 3rd and 8 on the scramble. And then Carson again from the shotgun rolls back, throws over the middle, throws it to Yates. It's in and out of his hands, but we get bailed out by the referees right here. They call a defensive hold on the defense. So we're going to go ahead and get a first and goal opportunity from the 4-yard line. Thank you very much, referees and or the Jets. Ricky Williams, first carry from first and goal. He's going to meet the defender head on and not win that battle, only getting a couple yards. So we go into the end of the first quarter. The Dolphins are down by a score of 7-0. The very next play, we decide to go to the outside with Ricky Williams. He hits him with a little fake juke, but there was no one really even nearby. And then Ricky Williams gets his first touchdown of the playoffs to get the Dolphins back on the board against the Jets. The kick is up and good for the extra point. That is a 13-play, 82-yard drive for nearly 7 minutes. So we really made sure we got down the field. But you know who else is getting down the field? Santana Moss, picking right back up where he left off, gets the reception and then some. He's already got 3 receptions for 45 yards. We're barely 1 minute into the second quarter. This is a dangerous throw, getting nearly intercepted by Neil Mathis on the third down. That's going to force a 4th down and a punt for the New York Jets. Carson Palmer, once again, using his legs, getting past the first down line, sliding before Jonathan Vilma can make him pay for it physically, and that's going to be a 1st down and then some on this drive for the Miami Dolphins. Heading into shotgun, Carson Palmer dropping back, looking to his left, throws it over the middle. It's going to bounce off of Darius Thompson's hand, and that's going to bring up a 4th down for the Dolphins. So even though Carson was able to get a 1st down, that drive stalls out, and we bounce it right back to the Jets. Pennington throwing over the middle. This time it's going to be caught by, that looks like McCarron's. Yep, going to get a catch for himself over the middle on Reggie Howard. I believe we changed Reggie Howard to be the defender on McCarron's after that. And then, of course, Santana Moss is being covered by Surtain. He does win that battle. Freeman can't believe it, but Freeman hasn't really been covering that well, if we're going to be totally honest about it. That one is dangerously close to being intercepted by the guy we were just talking about, Arturo Freeman, but that one gets batted away for another 4th down and another punt. Coming back to the Dolphins, Ricky finally gets a little bit of room, forces 7 yards for himself as he rumbles forward. That brings up a 3rd down situation, and we have to sling that one to Chambers. We haven't really said Chris Chambers' name quite yet this game. With 2 minutes to go in the first half, he finally gets on the board. Now this one, we go with Ricky thinking that like a half a yard, we're going to get it no problem, and he gets stuffed at the line, and we have to give it right back to the Jets, and the Jets start taking advantage of it, and then we force the fumble with Zach Thomas, and Arturo Freeman is there to jump on top of it. So no harm, no foul, not getting the ball, although it would have been nice to score, but guess what? We have field position, and we still have some time left. So Carson Palmer lobs one over the top because the safety stepped forward, and Chris Chambers is in the end zone for the score. So a wild swing. We went from having an opportunity to not having an opportunity to very much so having an opportunity, and then getting the strike on the first try. So we love to see when the safeties drop. It means Chris Chambers and his speed can get behind that defense, and we go into halftime with the lead in this divisional round by a score of 14-7. Quick look at the stats. We have 109 passing yards to their 102. We are out rushing the Jets 49-21. We've got 158 yards to their 123, and we are really outdoing them in the time of possession. 11 minutes for us, just barely under 5 minutes for them. And of course, we did force that one turnover, which directly resulted into that touchdown for us. But even though all that is going our way, Santana Moss is so far the player of the half. 4 receptions, 61 yards, and that touchdown so far for the New York Jets. So we're going to go ahead and get the ball back as we start in shotgun on 3rd down, and we throw that one to the left side to Ricky, and he runs out of bounds with it. So we have to give the ball right back to the Jets, and you can see here we've really kept them in check running-wise. 4 rushes, 8 yards, and a fumble for Lamont Jordan, so at least we've been keeping him in check a little bit. We'll go play action on this one, and Jason Taylor is in pursuit, and he's going to go ahead and get the sack to force the 4th down. So no harm, again, no foul, and not getting that first play to work out our way. Zoom over to 3rd down. We've got McMichael streaking over the middle. If he could have just broken free of that tackle, he might have had some bonus yards for that one, but we like the 1st down. Moving over to 3rd and 3, another play action. Carson rolling over to his right. Is he going to be able to make the play? And John Abraham says, no, sir, you are not. Abraham gets what is credited as a sack, and we'll take the field goal. And in a rare moment of bad accuracy, I guess on my part, Olindo Mare sends that one to the left. The wind going crossfield did not help us, and that's essentially a turnover, and Lamont Jordan is finally going to get some room to run. He cuts back into the middle. He gets tackled by 2 Dolphin defenders, but that's going to be a 1st down and then some for Lamont Jordan, who really needed a good run, and I'm not really sure what happened with that cup, and now we have the ball, so I guess that drive didn't really go anywhere. My bad on that little surprise cut, and Ricky is going to force a 1st down before we head into the end of the 3rd quarter. Our 4th quarter coming up, we are up by a score of 14-7. 3rd and inches, we go ahead and just dive for it with Carson Palmer, literally, and he just barely gets over the line, keeping this drive alive for the Miami Dolphins. Heading down the drive a little bit, not getting much on the ground. We decide to try and break for it. We basically run over one of our offensive linemen, but Carson does it again with his legs, getting over the line for another first down and another drive, saving down again. We get the handoff to Ricky Williams, who gets a little bit of a block to the outside, tries to break the tackle there, but in the act of getting tackled out of bounds by the Jets defender, he's going to get whistled for the personal foul. That's going to be a face mask on him, giving us the full 15 yards. I believe it was not incidental, so that's going to send us way down the field to the Jets' 39-yard line. After taking a sack, it is 2nd and 17. Carson dropping back in shotgun, once again rolling out to his right. This time has somebody downfield, but you know who else is downfield is John McGraw, who intercepts the ball for the New York Jets and runs himself out of bounds, and that is going to end up being a costly turnover for the Miami Dolphins, who had some momentum and they had the lead. That deep pass was arguably one that he did not have to make. We could have thrown it out of bounds. We could have tried to scramble a little bit more and run out of bounds, but instead Carson makes a short-sighted move, and it ends up biting him in the butt with the turnover. And just like clockwork, Lamont Jordan gets down the field and runs out of bounds. I think they call him out just before the goal line, so that forces not only a 3rd and 1 that Kevin Falk takes advantage of, but my dude is gone. He's zigging, he's zacking away from the defenders, and no one is going to touch him all the way into the end zone. Kevin Falk, I think this was like his first run of the game. He had returned a couple of kicks, but he absolutely takes this one straight to the house. We're going to have to see this one again. Kevin Falk getting probably signed in the offseason, jumps through the line, evades Arturo Freeman, and Freeman is just absolutely not able to catch him. I believe this was something like a 57-yard run for the running back, and Kevin Falk goes ahead and gets this one within 1 point. And I say within 1 point because Doug Peterson comes in and makes it a tied game. So we're got about 3 minutes and 30 seconds left in the fourth quarter. That was a 74-yard drive on just 4 plays, and the Jets are officially back in this one. The kickoff coming down the field all the way to, I believe this is our Pablo Reed return, and he fumbles the ball, and it's recovered by the Jets. He's tackled right away at the 25, but disaster has struck the Miami Dolphins, the number 1 seed, looking like they are starting to flounder. They've committed 2 turnovers so far in this game, and they have both happened in pretty much the last couple of minutes. So they've got great field position. Chad Pennington dropping back, finding I was going to say, you guessed it, but no, this time it is Wayne Corbett once again making a huge catch over the middle. We can see here Santana Moss, 4 catches and 61 yards, but Wayne Corbett, nothing to sneeze at either. 2 catches for 40 yards for our guy right there. 1st and 10, the Dolphins line shifts to the right. They guess correctly. We get somebody out on the outside, but we get a stiff arm from Jordan. We get a broken tackle by Jordan, and we have a touchdown from Lamont Jordan. So from going to holding Lamont Jordan to just 8 yards in the first half, the Miami Dolphins have just absolutely cratered as a run defense. As you see that stiff arm on Moreland Greenwood, Reggie Howard is not able to make the tackle, and Lamont Jordan gets into the end zone, but Doug Peterson doinks that one off of the upright, leaving the door open for the Miami Dolphins. So we take this one over at the 32. Carson, with the defenders descending upon him, finds Randy McMichael, the tight end, deep on the right side with clock winding down towards the 2-minute warning. The Dolphins have a little bit of life. Carson, I almost called him Parson. Carson again finds Chris Chambers on a floater deep on the left side, so we head into the 2-minute warning with a first down and great field position. Carson from shotgun again. This time he's going to get just absolutely sandwiched by 2 Jets defenders. I think John Abraham was the first one there. That's at least his 2nd sack of the game in these highlights. We get some of those yards back by finding a quick one to Chris Chambers. That's about 10 yards coming back to us. That brings up a 3rd and 8. Carson needing to get this one, finds Shannon Yates wide open over the middle. Yates takes that one in. We call a timeout. That brings up 1st and 10 with about 47 seconds to go. We launched that one over the middle, going for what looked like Yates. I think that one was considered a drop by Shannon. This one is not going to be dropped by Darius Thompson, and with 39 seconds to go, Darius is in the end zone. He deserves to hit that dance. We have to see that one more time. Carson having some time in shotgun, and when Carson has time, he's able to find his man, although that one was a literal window threading, and we're not missing that extra point. So with just a couple seconds to spare, we are up 21-20, but the Jets are not done yet on first down. Santana Moss hauls that one in. They call a timeout. They've got about 30 seconds, and all they need to do is get into field goal range. We're going with a dime man coverage. We think we can just win that one-on-one battle, but once again, Santana Moss hauls a great catch in. A second timeout are called by the Jets, and this is a big one. Santana Moss catches that catch from Chad Pennington. They get the reception. They're going no huddle for some reason, although I believe they still had one timeout left here. We've got 10 seconds left on the clock. They're not going to stop the clock and go for the field goal. Instead, they go for the whole thing, and Reggie Howard had the chance to seal the game, but instead they take the field goal with a couple of seconds winding down. This time Peterson is not going to miss this one, and that 53-yard drive just absolutely shocks the Miami Dolphins crowd. They only have one chance left. I guess we could have let this one fall out of the end zone and tried our best with an 80-yard heave, which just straight up doesn't work in this game, but we're not able to do anything with the kick return, and the New York Football Jets, the 6th seed, upset the number 1 seed Miami Dolphins. It was an absolute blow-up. We could have won the game. We should have won the game. We did not win the game, and that is due in some part to mismanagement on my end. It's due in some part to some of our guys not playing the way that they needed to. Our defense especially just absolutely cratered by the end of that game. We outpassed them, but we end up giving up 125 yards. Ricky Williams, our MVP, did not do anything to be heard of, and Santana Moss is the MVP of this game. 7 receptions, 114 yards, and a touchdown. So we're going to have to go back to the drawing board, y'all. We had a strong team. We had a great regular season, but when the chips were down, we cratered. We melted down. Carson Palmer did his best, although that interception was kind of the beginning of the end. We could have just kept going for it. We could have run the ball and hoped that our defense played better for us, but giving up that 53-yard touchdown to Kevin Falk, Santana Moss just absolutely torching us for 114 yards. Chris Chambers might have gotten into the end zone, but we could have used a better day from him. We only threw to him 6 total times, and the Jets were just solid all around. 6 tackles, a bunch of guys with 5 tackles, 2.5 sacks for John Abraham, a bunch of other guys contributing sacks. Only Jason Taylor was able to get a sack for us, and McGraw again with that big momentum-shifting interception. So that's it. The Miami Dolphins were eliminated for the playoffs for the second year in a row. We lose in the first round, this time to another division rival, the New York Jets, and we're going to be watching from the sidelines as we head into the conference championship and the Super Bowl. But of course, that is not going to be covered in this one. We are going to see you next time for the rest of the regular season, and for now, we're going to leave it at what a disappointing loss. What a disappointing loss. We did record everything correctly after this, so we should have all the sports centers back and all the game sound and everything like that. So thanks so much for tuning in this far. A disappointing end to our second season, but you know, we're going to keep trying to rebuild this team and make it a championship team like we are trying to do. So for Peanuts 24/7, if you're still here, give a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't already. It's always a pleasure to make these videos for you. Sorry it's taken so long to get this one out. I've been going through a lot of change, but I'm excited to be here, excited to have you, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the next one.